The blizzard howled like a living thing. Ada Kingsley pressed her back against the convenience store wall, her second-hand coat doing nothing against the brutal wind. She checked her phone. Dead, just like her bank account. She was freezing, broke, and alone in a foreign city. She turned to rush home but stopped. Red, bright, fresh crimson was seeping through the snow in the alleyway. A man. He was collapsed beside her building, blood soaking through his white dress shirt. His face was beautiful even in unconsciousness. Sharp jawline, dark hair plastered to his forehead, lips going blue. She should have walked away. Should have called the police. Should have done anything except crouch down and touch his neck, feeling for a pulse that was there, but fading fast. Welcome to K-Fairy Tales Stories, besties. Please like, share, and subscribe. Ada's hands shook as she checked the stranger's pulse again. Weak, but steady. Blood soaked through his expensive shirt from a wound in his side. Not a gunshot, something sharper. Cleaner. Her tiny studio apartment was 3 floors up. No elevator. But leaving him here meant he'd freeze or bleed out before help arrived. If help even came to this neighborhood, she made a decision that would change everything. 20 minutes later, Ada had somehow dragged him inside. He was heavier than he looked, all lean muscle and dead weight. She'd stripped his coat and shirt, revealing a torso marked with scars that told violent stories. The wound in his side was deep but manageable. She'd learned basic first aid teaching English to military families back home. Her hands moved with surprising steadiness as she cleaned and bandaged the injury. He didn't wake, didn't stir, just lay on her bed breathing shallow breaths while she perched on her single chair, watching him like he might disappear. Or attack. She wasn't sure which terrified her more. His phone had fallen from his pocket during the move. Expensive locked. 17 missed calls from someone named Tae-hyun. She turned it off and shoved it in her drawer. Tomorrow she'd figure out what to do. Tonight she just needed him to survive. Ada pulled her blanket over him and settled on the floor with a pillow. Sleep came in fragments. Every sound made her jolt awake. Every shift of his body sent her heart racing. By dawn she was exhausted and terrified, and starting to question every choice that led to this moment. That's when he woke up. His eyes opened, dark, dangerous, immediately alert despite the blood loss. He assessed the room in seconds. The cramped space, the secondhand furniture. Her curled on the floor watching him with wide eyes. Who are you? His Korean was smooth, educated, nothing like the street dialect she'd been learning from her students. Ada, I found you in the alley. You were bleeding. Her Korean was rougher, accented, but functional. He sat up too fast and immediately regretted it. Pain flashed across his features before he controlled it. His hand went to his side, finding the bandage. You did this? You were dying. I couldn't just leave you. Something shifted in his expression. Surprise, maybe, or calculation. Where's my phone? I turned it off. You had 17 missed calls. I need it now. Not a request, a command delivered with absolute authority. Ada retrieved the phone from her drawer and handed it over. Their fingers brushed. Electricity shot through her at the contact. His eyes snapped to hers, held. Something passed between them that had nothing to do with gratitude and everything to do with recognition. Like their souls had been waiting for this moment. He looked away first, powered on the phone. Made a call speaking rapid Korean she couldn't follow. When he hung up, his attention returned to her. Really looked at her this time. Taking in her natural hair pulled back in a bun. Her brown skin, her curves visible even in oversized pajamas. The way she held herself. Careful, guarded, beautiful in a way that had nothing to do with makeup or effort. My people are coming, he said. You should leave, go somewhere public. Don't come back for 3 hours. This is my apartment. I know. And now it's compromised because you helped me. So you need to leave before they arrive and ask questions you can't answer. Who are you? His smile was sharp, dangerous. Someone you should have left in the snow. But he didn't look away. Didn't dismiss her. Instead, his gaze traveled over her face like he was memorizing every detail. The curve of her mouth, the defiance in her eyes, the way her breath quickened under his attention. Thank you, he said finally, quietly, for not leaving me to die. That was foolish and brave, and I won't forget it. Before Ada could respond, he stood, swayed slightly. She moved without thinking, catching his arm to steady him. The contact sent heat racing through her body. His hand covered hers on his bicep. Held it there. What's your name? She asked. Kang Min-ho. He said it like it should mean something. Like the name carried weight she didn't understand yet. And you, Ada Kingsley, just saved the most dangerous man in Seoul. Then he released her hand and walked toward her door with surprising steadiness for someone who'd lost that much blood. He paused at the threshold. Looked back, 3 hours. Don't come back before then. And Ada? His eyes held hers, dark and intense, and full of something that made her stomach flip. Lock your door, always. This neighborhood isn't safe for women like you. He left. The apartment felt colder without him. Ada grabbed her bag and coat and fled. The next few hours passed in a blur. She went to a cafe, nursed an expensive coffee she couldn't afford, tried to process what had happened. She'd sheltered a stranger who spoke like authority incarnate, who moved like violence was a second language, who looked at her like she was something rare and precious and absolutely forbidden. When she finally returned home, her apartment was pristine, cleaner than she'd left it. The blood-stained sheets were gone, replaced with new ones, expensive ones. Her first aid kit had been restocked, and on her table sat an envelope. Inside was more money than she made in 6 months. Cash untraceable, and a note in perfect English, for your kindness and your silence. Don't speak of last night to anyone. It's safer for both of us. KMH. Ada stared at the money. She should return it, should report what happened, should do something other than pocket the cash that would solve every financial problem crushing her. But her hands were already counting bills, already calculating rent and food and maybe a working phone. She was keeping it. That decision sealed her fate. The following week, Ada tried to forget Kang Min-ho, tried to focus on teaching English to businessmen who never quite looked at her face, tried to ignore the memory of his hands on hers, his voice, the way he'd looked at her like she mattered. She failed spectacularly. He appeared everywhere she didn't expect him. At the convenience store where she bought cheap meals, in the cafe where she graded papers, standing outside her apartment building in the rain like he had every right to be there. "You're following me," she said the third time she spotted him. Direct, confrontational. Her mother had raised her to never back down even when she should. "I'm ensuring you're safe." He stood under an umbrella looking infuriatingly dry while rain soaked her coat. "Why?" "Because you helped me. That makes you my responsibility. I don't need a bodyguard." "No. You need someone to explain that the men who hurt me know about you now. Know you treated my wound. Know where you live." He stepped closer. "So either accept my protection or leave Seoul. Those are your only options." Fury ignited in her chest. "You don't get to dictate my life. I'm trying to keep you alive." His voice rose slightly, the first crack in his control. "The people who want me dead won't hesitate to hurt you to get to me. Do you understand what that means? What they'll do to you?" The words hung between them. Rain fell harder. They stood on the street in the downpour staring at each other. Ada should have been terrified, should have run. Instead, she found herself stepping closer. "Then tell me who you are." "Really?" Minho's jaw clenched. Water dripped from his hair. His expensive suit was ruined, and he looked at her like she was the only thing in the world that mattered. "I run the King family business. Legitimate operations and less legitimate ones. I have enemies, many enemies, and now they think you're important to me." "Am I?" The question escaped before she could stop it. Vulnerable Rob, his eyes darkened. "You saved my life. That makes you important." "That's not what I'm asking." He moved so fast she didn't see it coming. One moment they were separated by rain and air. The next his hand cupped her face, gentle despite the calluses, despite the violence he was clearly capable of. "Yes," he said quietly, fiercely. "You're important. You've been important since the moment I woke up and saw you watching over me like I was worth saving. So yes, Ada Kingsley, you matter. And that terrifies me more than any enemy ever could." Then he released her and walked away, leaving her standing in the rain with her heart hammering and her world tilting sideways.
By the end of the week, Minho's protection became impossible to ignore. A new lock appeared on her door, security cameras in her building's hallway, a phone delivered to her apartment with one number programmed. His, and everywhere she went, shadows followed, his men, keeping watch, keeping her safe. She should have been angry, should have felt violated. Instead, she felt something else entirely. Seen, valued, protected in a way she'd never experienced before. Her students noticed the change, asked if she had a boyfriend. Ada laughed it off, but the question haunted her. What was Min-ho to her? Savior? Captor? Something more complicated than either label could contain. That evening, she called the number he'd given her. "Ada," he answered on the first ring, his voice warm, almost relieved. "Are you all right?" "I'm fine, I wanted to thank you for the security and the phone." "You don't need to thank me." "Yes, I do, because you're spending resources on me and I don't understand why. I'm nobody. just a teacher barely scraping by. Why does someone like you care if someone like me lives or dies? Silence stretched. She heard him breathe, heard background noise, traffic maybe, or wind. Because when I woke up in your apartment, he said finally, you were sleeping on the floor. You'd given me your bed, your blanket, everything you had. And I realized I'd never met someone who gave like that, who helped without expecting anything in return. That's rare in my world. That's precious. Ada's throat tightened. I'm not special. You are to me. The words settled over her like a physical touch. She closed her eyes, gripped the phone tighter. Min-ho, I don't know how to do this. Whatever this is, I don't belong in your world. Then I'll come to yours. What? Have dinner with me. Tomorrow. Somewhere normal. Somewhere you choose. Let me prove I'm more than just the dangerous man who disrupted your life. She should say no. Should maintain distance. Should protect herself from the inevitable heartbreak of wanting someone completely wrong for her. Okay, she whispered. Tomorrow. His exhale was audible. Tomorrow. The following evening, Ada chose a small restaurant in Itaewon. Crowded, public, safe. She wore her nicest dress, did her makeup, told herself this wasn't a date, just dinner with someone who'd become unavoidable in her life. Min-ho arrived exactly on time wearing casual clothes that probably cost more than her monthly salary. He looked younger without the suit, more human, devastating in the way that made her stomach flip. You're beautiful, he said before she could speak. Simple, direct, like it was just fact. Heat flooded her face. You clean up nice yourself. They sat, ordered, talked about nothing and everything. He asked about her teaching, her students, why she came to Seoul. She asked about his family business, the legitimate parts, how he ended up running an empire before 35. My father died when I was 22, Min-ho said quietly. Heart attack during a business dinner. I inherited everything. The companies, the obligations, the enemies. I didn't have a choice about becoming who I am. Everyone has choices. Not in my world. In my world, weakness gets you killed. Hesitation gets you killed. Showing mercy gets you killed. His eyes found hers. Until you showed mercy and somehow I'm still alive. Maybe mercy is stronger than you think. Maybe you're stronger than you think. The restaurant noise faded. They were close across the small table, close enough that she could see gold flecks in his dark eyes, close enough to smell his cologne, close enough that when he reached across and took her hand, the touch sent electricity racing up her arm. I want to court you properly, he said. Take you to dinner, learn everything about you, make you smile, but I need you to understand what that means. Being with me is dangerous. My enemies will target you. My family will judge you. The media will tear you apart, and I can't promise you safety even with all my power. Then why ask? Because I'm selfish. Because I want you anyway. Because from the moment I woke up and saw you, something changed. Something I can't explain or control or make logical sense of. His thumbs stroked across her knuckles. Say yes, Ada. Let me try to deserve you. She looked at their joined hands, his scarred and dangerous, her small and soft and trembling. This was insane. He was right about all of it. The danger, the impossibility, the absolute certainty that this would end in heartbreak. Yes, she heard herself say. Court me, try to deserve me, but Min-ho. She met his eyes. I'm not delicate. I'm not some fragile thing that needs constant protecting. I'm strong. I've survived my own battles. So if we do this, treat me like a partner, not a possession. His smile was slow, devastating, full of promise. Deal. They stayed until the restaurant closed, talked until their voices were hoarse. He walked her home with his hand at the small of her back, protective but not controlling, present but not overwhelming. At her door, he didn't kiss her, just cupped her face with both hands and looked at her like she was art, like she was precious, like she was everything. Sleep well, Ada Kingsley, he murmured. Dream of me. Then he was gone, and she was left standing in her doorway with her heart racing and her resolve crumbling. The next morning brought flowers, an entire bouquet delivered to her school, expensive, beautiful, with a note that simply said, thinking of you. Her students giggled. Her co-teachers raised eyebrows. Ada tried to hide her smile and failed completely. By afternoon, another gift arrived. Coat, high quality, warm, perfect for Seoul's winter. The note read, so you never freeze again. By evening, she was expecting something. Instead, Minho himself appeared at her apartment with takeout and a shy smile that didn't match his dangerous reputation. "I'm wooing you," he explained. "Is it working?" "Maybe," Ada said, fighting her grin. "Come in." They ate on her floor because she only had one chair, laughed about nothing, talked about everything, and when he left that night, he kissed her forehead, gentle, reverent, like she was something holy. Ada touched the spot after he'd gone. Her skin still tingled, her heart still raced, and she knew with absolute certainty that she was falling for Kang Minho. The danger came on a Tuesday. Ada was leaving school when a black van pulled up. Men poured out, grabbed her before she could scream. A cloth covered her face. Chemical smell, chloroform maybe. The world went fuzzy then black. She woke in a warehouse, concrete floor, dim lighting, her hands zip-tied behind her back. Fear crashed through her, but she forced it down, forced herself to breathe, to think, to survive. A man entered, older, scarred, smiling in a way that made her skin crawl. "Miss Kingsley," he said in accented English. "Welcome. I'm sorry about the rough handling, but we needed to get Kang Minho's attention. And you, my dear, are the perfect bait." Terror locked her throat, but she forced words out. "He'll kill you for this." "He'll try, and while he's distracted trying to save you, my men will put bullets in his skull." The man crouched in front of her. "Nothing personal, just business. You were simply unlucky enough to matter to a man who's made many enemies." He stood, left her alone in the cold warehouse. Ada tested the zip ties, too tight. She looked for anything sharp, nothing within reach. So she did the only thing she could. She prayed that Minho was as dangerous as everyone said, that he'd come for her, that love was stronger than violence. Hours crawled past, then she heard it. Gunfire, shouting, the sound of men dying. The warehouse door exploded inward. Minho entered like an avenging angel. Blood spattered his face and clothes, but none of it was his. His eyes scanned the space, found her, and something in his expression absolutely shattered. He was across the room in seconds, cutting her restraints with a knife that probably just killed someone, pulling her into his arms so tight she couldn't breathe. His hands moved over her frantically, checking for injuries, making sure she was real. "I'm okay," Ada managed. "I'm okay." "You're not okay. They took you. They put their hands on you. His voice broke. "Ada, I swear to you, everyone involved in this is dead or dying. I won't let anyone hurt you again. Never again." Then he kissed her, desperate, fierce, claiming her mouth like he owned it, like she was oxygen and he was drowning. Ada kissed him back with everything in her, all her fear, all her relief, all the feelings she'd been holding back. When they finally broke apart, both breathing hard, his forehead rested against hers. "Mine," he whispered. "You're mine now, say it." "Yours," she agreed. "I'm yours." The ride back to his penthouse was silent. Tension crackled between them. His hand stayed on her thigh, possessive, grounding. Every few seconds, he'd glance at her like making sure she was still there. Inside his home, the space was massive, modern, cold except for his presence. He guided her to the bathroom, started a shower, began to undress her with shaking hands. "Minho," she whispered, "I'm okay, really." "I need to make sure." His voice was wrecked. "Please, Ada, let me take care of you." She nodded, let him strip away her clothes, let him guide her into the shower, let him wash the warehouse dirt from her skin with a gentleness that contradicted everything about him. His touch was reverent, careful, like she might break. When they were both clean, he wrapped her in a towel, carried her to his bed, laid her down like she was precious. His eyes traveled over her body, taking in her curves, the way the towel clung to her damp skin, the rapid rise and fall of her chest. "I almost lost you," he said roughly. "I almost lost you, and we haven't even begun." Ada reached for him, pulled him down to her. "Then begin now. Love me now. Show me I'm alive." What happened next was tender and desperate and absolutely perfect. He worshipped every inch of her, made her feel beautiful, made her feel cherished, made her feel like the most important thing in his world. And when they finally came together, it was like two broken pieces finding their fit. like salvation and damnation wrapped into one perfect moment. Afterward, they lay tangled together. His hand stroked her hair, her head rested on his chest, listening to his heartbeat, strong, steady, alive. "I love you," he whispered into the darkness. "I know it's too soon, I know we barely know each other, but Ada, I love you completely, irrevocably, forever." Tears burned her eyes, happy tears, overwhelmed tears. "I love you too." His arms tightened around her. "Then stay, move in here, let me protect you properly. Let me love you the way you deserve. Minho, your world will adjust, my family will adjust. Everyone will adjust because you're mine now and I don't compromise on what's mine." He tilted her face up, kissed her softly. "Stay, Ada, choose me, choose us." She thought about her tiny apartment, her struggling existence, the loneliness that had defined her life in soul until him. Then she thought about his arms around her, his love, his absolute certainty. "Okay," she whispered, "I'll stay." His smile could have lit the city. "Thank you for choosing me, for saving me, for loving me despite everything I am." "Because of everything you are," she corrected. They fell asleep wrapped in each other, safe, loved, home. The morning sun painted Minho's bedroom in shades of gold. Ada woke to find him watching her, his hand tracing patterns on her bare shoulder, his expression soft in a way she suspected few people ever witnessed. "Good morning," she murmured, voice still rough with sleep. "Perfect morning," he kissed her forehead. "I've been lying here trying to figure out how I got this lucky. By getting stabbed and collapsing in my alley, apparently." His laugh was warm, rich. "Best decision I never made." Then his expression turned serious. "Ada, about yesterday, the kidnapping, I need to explain something about my world, about what being with me actually means." She sat up, clutched the sheet to her chest. "Tell me." "The Kang family controls most of Seoul's underground economy. Shipping, real estate, information networks. My grandfather built it from nothing. My father expanded it. And I inherited all of it at 22 when he died." Minho's jaw clenched. "I've tried to go legitimate, tried to transition us into legal operations. But there are people, rivals, enemies who profit from chaos, who want me dead so they can take what's mine. Like the man who took me. Lee Sangwoo, head of the Lee Syndicate. We've been at war for 5 years. Yesterday was his move. He failed, but there will be others." Fear tried to claw up her throat, but Ada pushed it down. "Then we prepare for them, together." "You don't understand what you're agreeing to, being my woman, my partner. It means danger. It means scrutiny. It means people will judge you, threaten you, try to use you against me." His hand cupped her face. "I want you more than I've ever wanted anything, but I won't trap you if you want to leave. If this is too much, I'll let you go. I'll protect you from a distance. I'll make sure you're safe even if it kills me." Ada looked at this powerful man offering her freedom when she knew it would destroy him. Looked at the vulnerability in his eyes, the fear that she'd choose safety over love, and she made her choice. "I'm not leaving, not now, not ever. Whatever comes, we face it together." She kissed him softly. "You don't get to protect me from yourself. Minho, I choose you, all of you, the danger included." Relief crashed across his features. He pulled her close, held her like she might disappear. "Thank you, God, thank you." They stayed in bed until noon, talked about logistics, her moving in, her job, how to navigate his family. His mother would be difficult. His younger sister would either love or hate her. His business partners would test her. But none of it mattered as much as the feeling of his arms around her, the certainty in his voice when he called her his. By evening, Minho had sent people to pack her apartment. Everything she owned fit in 4 boxes, her entire life reduced to so little. But when those boxes arrived at his penthouse and he helped her unpack, giving her closet space and drawer space and shelf space, it felt like gaining everything instead of losing anything. "This is yours now," he said, gesturing to the penthouse. "All of it. Change whatever you want. Decorate however you like. This is your home too." Ada looked around the massive space, cold and modern and expensive. "It needs warmth." "Then warm it, make it ours." Over the following weeks, Ada transformed the penthouse. Plants appeared on surfaces. Art went up on walls. Colors invaded the monochrome palette. Minho watched every change with fascination, like he'd never considered that spaces could feel lived in. that homes could be more than just places to sleep. "You're making it beautiful," he said one evening, finding her arranging flowers in the kitchen. "I'm making it ours," she turned to him. "Your space was designed to intimidate, to keep people at a distance, but you don't need that with me, so I'm bringing warmth back." He crossed to her, pulled her into his arms. "You've brought warmth back to everything, not just the apartment, me. I didn't realize how cold I'd become until you." Their kiss was interrupted by his phone. He answered with clear irritation, listened. His expression hardened. When he hung up, tension radiated from every line of his body. "What's wrong?" "My mother wants to meet you, tomorrow, lunch at the family estate." He ran a hand through his hair. "This won't be pleasant. She had someone else picked out for me. A match she arranged. Finding out I'm with someone she didn't choose, someone who isn't Korean, it's going to be difficult." "I can handle difficult." "I know you can, but I want you prepared. My mother is traditional, exacting. She'll look for weaknesses, she'll test you. She'll try to find reasons you're not suitable. And Ada," he cupped her face, "none of what she says will be true. You're perfect for me, for this family, for this life. Don't let her make you doubt that." The next day arrived too quickly. Ada dressed carefully, conservative but stylish. Her natural hair styled perfectly, makeup subtle. She looked at herself in the mirror and saw a woman ready for battle. Minho appeared behind her, hands on her shoulders. "You're beautiful, remember that, no matter what she says." The family estate was massive. Traditional Korean architecture mixed with modern security, guards at every entrance, cameras everywhere. The wealth on display was staggering. This wasn't just rich. This was dynasty rich. Generational power made visible. Minho's mother waited in a formal sitting room. She was elegant, cold, her hanbok perfectly pressed, her hair styled with precision. She looked at Ada like examining a particularly disappointing purchase. "So this is her," she said in Korean, not bothering with English, making Ada work for it. "Mother, this is Ada Kingsley, my girlfriend, the woman I intend to marry." Minho's Korean was formal, respectful but firm. His mother's eyes widened fractionally. The only sign of surprise. "Mary, how presumptuous. You've known her what, 2 months?" "Long enough to know she's the one." "She's not Korean." "I'm aware." "She has no family connections, no useful alliances." "She has me, that's enough." His mother turned her attention to Ada, switched to perfect English. "Tell me, Miss Kingsley, what exactly do you bring to this family besides being a foreign curiosity?" The insult landed, but Ada refused to flinch. "I bring love, loyalty, and the ability to make your son happy, which, judging by how you're treating him right now, isn't something you prioritize." The room went silent. Minho's mother stood, walked closer, studied Ada with new intensity. "You have fire, I'll give you that, but fire without breeding is just destruction waiting to happen. And breeding without heart is just cruelty and expensive clothing." Ada met her gaze, refused to back down. "You can dislike me, you can try to break us up, you can make this as difficult as you want, but I love your son, and he loves me. That's not changing no matter how many tests you put me through." Something shifted in the older woman's expression, not approval exactly, but recognition. "Minho, leave us, I want to speak with her alone." "Mother." "I'm not going to hurt her, I just want to talk, woman to woman." Minho looked at Ada. She nodded. He squeezed her hand once, then left. The door closed behind him with finality. His mother sat, gestured for Ada to do the same. "My son's father was murdered. Did he tell you that?" Ada's blood went cold. "He said heart attack." "That's what the official report says, but I was there. I saw the poison in his wine, watched him convulse, held him while he died." The older woman's voice was steady, but her hands shook slightly. "The man responsible was a business rival, someone my husband trusted, someone who sat at our table and smiled while planning murder." "I'm sorry." "Don't be sorry, be aware. This family has enemies. Real ones who kill, who destroy, who won't hesitate to hurt anyone my son loves. And you, Miss Kingsley, you're visible, vulnerable, a perfect target." She leaned forward. "I'm not rejecting you because you're not Korean. I'm warning you because you don't understand what you've signed up for. My son is powerful, but that power comes with a price. People close to him die. It's not a possibility, it's a pattern." Then I'll break the pattern. How? By loving him enough. That's naive. By being strong enough, smart enough, fierce enough to survive. Ada's voice hardened. I'm not some delicate flower. I grew up fighting for everything I have. I came to a foreign country alone. I survived poverty and loneliness and every obstacle thrown at me. Your son's enemies don't scare me more than my own struggles already have. His mother studied her for a long moment. Then something remarkable happened. She smiled, small, genuine. Perhaps I was wrong about you. Perhaps you do have what it takes. She stood. I won't make this easy. I still have concerns, but I won't actively oppose you either. Prove to me you can survive this world. Prove you won't get my son killed trying to protect you. Do that and you'll have my blessing. I will. We'll see. She moved toward the door, paused. He loves you more than I've ever seen him love anything. That's dangerous for him. Love makes men weak, makes them vulnerable, makes them stupid. Don't let his love for you be what destroys him. Then she was gone, leaving Ada alone in the formal room with her heart racing and her resolve strengthening. Minho found her minutes later. Are you okay? What did she say? She warned me, tested me, then gave me provisional approval. Provisional? I have to prove I can survive your world, prove I won't get you killed. Ada stood, moved into his arms. So that's what I'll do. His hold tightened. You don't have to prove anything, not to her, not to anyone. Yes, I do, because she's right. I'm a liability right now. I don't know your world, don't understand the threats, don't have the skills to protect myself. She pulled back, looked up at him. Teach me how to move in your world, how to defend myself, how to be a partner instead of a weakness. Pride flickered in his eyes. Okay, we start tomorrow. The training began at dawn. Minho's security chief was a former Special Forces operative named Hyun. Serious, professional. He looked at Ada like she was a problem to solve. She needs everything, Minho told him. Self-defense, weapons, situational awareness, threat assessment. I want her dangerous. Hyun nodded. This won't be easy. I don't want easy, Ada said. I want effective. What followed were the most brutal months of her life. Every morning before teaching, she trained, hand-to-hand combat, weapons handling, escape techniques, how to read a room for threats, how to identify exits, how to stay alive when everything went wrong. Her body transformed, muscles defined, reflexes sharpened, confidence built. She went from helpless to capable, from liability to asset, and through it all, Minho watched with fierce pride. You're incredible, he told her one evening, watching her practice knife work. Most people would have quit weeks ago. I'm not most people. No, you're mine, and you're perfect. Their relationship deepened. Every night they fell asleep tangled together. Every morning they woke reaching for each other. The chemistry between them was magnetic, addictive. Minho couldn't keep his hands off her. Ada couldn't get enough of his touch. Their intimacy grew from desperate to profound, from physical to emotional to something that felt like destiny. But danger still lurked. 4 months into their relationship, Ada was leaving the training facility when a car pulled up, not one of Minho's. The window rolled down. A man inside smiled. Handsome, dangerous. Ada Kingsley, I'm Park Jae-hoon, business associate of your boyfriend's. He asked me to drive you home. Every instinct screamed wrong. I'll call Minho to confirm. Please do. She pulled out her phone. It was dead. Convenient, too convenient. I'll walk, thank you. She turned to leave, heard the car door open. Spun. Her training kicked in. The man lunging for her met her elbow in his throat. He staggered. She ran, heard footsteps behind her. More than one person. This was coordinated. She ducked into an alley, pulled the knife Minho insisted she carry, pressed her back to the wall, waited. When the first man rounded the corner, she struck, fast, precise. Didn't kill him but left him bleeding and cursing. The second was smarter, kept his distance, pulled a gun. Kang Minho wants you alive, but he didn't say unharmed. Come quietly or I start shooting body parts. Ada calculated odds. She was good but not bulletproof. She needed a distraction. Her hand found her emergency beacon. The one connected directly to Minho's security. She pressed it. Help would come. She just needed to survive until then. Okay, she said, lowering the knife. I'll come. The man smiled, moved closer. His mistake, Ada threw the knife, not at him, at the car's tire. The blade punctured rubber with a satisfying hiss. The man spun. She ran the opposite direction, heard him curse, heard gunshots. Pain blazed across her upper arm, but she didn't stop, couldn't stop. She made it 3 blocks before SUVs surrounded her. Minho's men. Ti-hyun emerged first, assessed her, saw the blood. We need medical now. I'm fine, just a graze. Boss is going to lose his mind. Boss is already there. Minho's voice cut through. He pushed past his men, reached her. His hands moved over her frantically, found the wound. His face went white then red with rage. Who did this? Man named Park Jae-hoon. Said he was your associate. He's dead. Minho's voice was absolutely certain. He's dead and everyone who works for him is dead. This ends tonight. Minho. No, he looked at her. His eyes were wild, dangerous. The careful control he maintained shattered completely. They shot you, put a bullet in you. That's unforgivable. That's a declaration of war, and I'm going to end it. He carried her to his SUV, held her the entire ride to his private doctor. Wouldn't let her go even when the doctor needed to treat the wound. His hands shook as he watched the bullet graze get cleaned and bandaged. It's just a scratch, Ada tried to reassure him. It could have been your heart, your head. You could be dead right now and it would be my fault. His voice broke. This is exactly what I was afraid of, what my mother warned about. You almost died because of me. I'm alive because of me, because of the training, because I fought back. She caught his face, made him look at her. This isn't your fault, it's theirs, and we'll deal with them together. No, I deal with them, you stay here, safe, protected. Like hell I do, anger flared. You don't get to bench me because I got hurt. I'm in this, fully, so either treat me like a partner or admit you see me as a liability. The challenge hung between them. Minho's jaw worked, his hands clenched, then he exhaled slowly. You're right, I'm sorry, you've proven yourself capable. The thought of losing you, it makes me crazy. Then let's make sure they lose instead. What followed was 48 hours of controlled violence. Minho's organization moved with surgical precision. Park Jae-hoon's operation was dismantled, his assets seized, his men arrested or eliminated, and Jae-hoon himself found and brought to Minho's warehouse. Ada insisted on being there. Against everyone's advice, she needed to see this, needed to understand fully what Minho's world meant. The warehouse was cold, concrete. Jae-hoon was tied to a chair, bloodied but conscious. He saw Ada and laughed. The foreign whore, did you come to watch? Minho moved so fast Ada barely tracked it. His fist connected with Jae-hoon's jaw. The crack echoed. You don't speak to her, you don't look at her, you don't breathe in her direction, understood. Jae-hoon spat blood. You've gone soft, Minho, letting a woman make you weak. Your father would be ashamed. My father is dead, and you're about to join him. Minho's voice was ice. You attempted to kidnap my woman, put a bullet in her. That's a capital offense in my organization, but I'm feeling generous, so I'll give you a choice. Quick death or slow one, choose. You don't scare me. I should, Minho pulled a gun, because I'm the last thing you'll ever see. Wait, Ada's voice cut through. Everyone turned. She walked forward, stood in front of Jae-hoon. Why did you do it? Why target me? Because you're his weakness. Everyone knows it. Kill you and he falls apart. Take you and he bankrupts himself trying to get you back. Either way, we win. Except you didn't. I'm alive. He's still standing. And you're the one tied to a chair. She leaned closer. You underestimated me. Thought I was just some foreign girl playing house with a gangster. But I'm more than that. I'm his partner, his equal. And anyone who comes for me is going to discover that I bite back. She straightened, walked back to Minho. He's all yours. What happened next? Ada didn't watch. She heard the gunshot, heard the body fall, felt Minho's arms come around her from behind. It's over, he murmured. You're safe now. We're safe, she corrected. Both of us. They left the warehouse, left the violence behind, went home to the life they were building together. That night, lying in bed, Minho's hand traced patterns on her stomach. Marry me, he said suddenly. Ada's breath caught. What? Marry me, not someday, not eventually, soon, next month. I want you as my wife officially. Want the world to know you're mine. Want to build a life with you that has nothing to do with danger and everything to do with us. He propped himself up, looked down at her with absolute certainty. Ada Kingsley, will you marry me? Tears burned her eyes. Happy tears, overwhelmed tears. Yes, God, yes, I'll marry you. He kissed her, deep and claiming and full of promise. Thank you for saying yes, for loving me, for being strong enough to survive my world. Thank you for seeing me, for choosing me, for loving me when you could have anyone. I don't want anyone, I only want you. The wedding planning began immediately. Minho's mother surprisingly stepped in to help. She'd softened toward Ada after the kidnapping attempt, after seeing how Ada handled herself, how she survived, how she stood beside Minho instead of cowering behind him. You've proven yourself, his mother said one afternoon over tea. Not just to me, to the entire family, to our associates, you're strong, capable, exactly what my son needs. Thank you, that means everything. Don't thank me yet. Being a Kang wife comes with responsibilities, social obligations, family expectations. You'll represent us at events, host gatherings, navigate politics that make your current struggles look simple. She paused. But I believe you can handle it. You've handled everything else. The wedding happened on a spring day, cherry blossoms falling like snow. The venue was the family estate, transformed into something magical. Ada wore a dress that fused Korean and Western traditions, her natural hair styled in elaborate braids woven with flowers. She looked like a queen. Minho wore a traditional hanbok for the ceremony, then changed into a Western suit for the reception. He looked devastating, powerful, and absolutely besotted every time he looked at his bride. The ceremony was bilingual, honoring both their backgrounds. Their vows were simple but profound, promises to love, to protect, to choose each other every day, to build a life that honored both their pasts while creating something new. When Minho kissed her as his wife, the crowd erupted. Cheers and applause. Ada felt happiness so complete it was almost painful. This man, this impossible, dangerous, beautiful man was hers, forever. The reception lasted until dawn, dancing and drinking and celebration. Minho barely left her side, his hand constantly at her waist, his eyes tracking her every move, possessive and proud and absolutely in love. Have I told you how beautiful you are? He murmured during a slow dance. Only about 50 times tonight. Not enough, I'll tell you 50 more. He spun her, pulled her close. You're the most beautiful woman I've ever seen, and you're mine, my wife, my partner, my everything. And you're mine, my husband, my protector, my love. They left the reception early, eager to be alone, to start their lives as husband and wife properly. In the car, Minho couldn't keep his hands off her, kissing her neck, her shoulders, whispering promises that made her blush. Patience, she laughed. We'll be home soon. Not soon enough. Their wedding night was tender and passionate and absolutely perfect. They took their time, learned each other all over again as husband and wife, and when they finally came together, it felt like coming home, like everything in their lives had led to this moment, this person, this love. Afterward, Ada lay in Minho's arms, tracing the scars on his chest. Tell me something. When you woke up in my apartment that first morning, did you know? Know what? That this would happen, that we'd end up here. Minho was quiet for a moment. I knew something, that you were different, important, that my life had just changed in ways I couldn't understand yet. But this happiness, this love, no, I never imagined I could have this. He kissed her hair. You gave me something I thought was impossible, a future that's more than just survival. Thank you for that. Thank you for choosing me, for fighting for us, for being exactly who you are. They fell asleep tangled together, safe, loved, home. 6 months into their marriage, Ada woke feeling strange, nauseous, exhausted despite a full night's sleep. She knew before taking the test what it meant, but seeing the positive results still made her breath catch. She was pregnant, carrying Minho's child. Their child, a new generation, a future built from love instead of violence. She found him in his office, working on legitimate business. The transition he'd promised was happening, slowly, carefully, but happening. The Kang family empire was becoming legal, respectable, clean. It was Ada's influence, her push for something better, something their children could inherit with pride instead of shame. Minho, she stood in the doorway, her heart racing. He looked up, saw her expression, was on his feet immediately. "What's wrong? Are you okay?" "I'm pregnant." He froze, completely still, processing. Then he was across the room, pulling her into his arms, lifting her off her feet, spinning her until she laughed. "We're having a baby," he said, voice thick with emotion. "A baby, our baby, Ada, God, I love you so much." "I love you too." He set her down gently. His hands moved to her still flat stomach, wonder on his face. "There's a person in there, our person, half you, half me, perfect." "I'm scared," she admitted. "This world, your enemies, everything we've been through. Is it safe to bring a child into this?" "I'll make it safe, I swear to you. Our child will grow up protected, loved, with every advantage I can provide. And they'll have you as a mother, which means they'll be strong, fierce, capable of anything." He kissed her softly. "We're going to be okay, all three of us." The pregnancy was smooth. Minho was impossible. Hovering, overprotective, treating Ada like she was made of glass. She tolerated it mostly because she found it endearing. This powerful, dangerous man reduced to anxious, expectant father. His mother was thrilled, finally warming to Ada completely. "A grandchild, thank God, I thought I'd die before seeing one." She fussed over Ada constantly, made sure she ate properly, rested enough, had the best doctors. The nursery was prepared months in advance. Gender neutral because they wanted to be surprised. Yellow and white, soft and warm. Everything a baby could need, and quite a bit they probably wouldn't. "You've bought enough clothes for quintuplets," Ada said, sorting through the mountain of baby things. "I want options. This is excessive." "Nothing is excessive for our child." Labor started on a Tuesday evening. Ada's water broke while they were having dinner. Minho went into full crisis mode, called the doctor, called his mother, called every security person on his payroll, had them mobilized in minutes. "It's just labor," Ada said through a contraction. "People do this every day." "You're not people, you're you, and I'm terrified." The birth was long, difficult, but worth every moment. When their daughter finally arrived, screaming her displeasure at the world, Ada cried, Minho cried, even the doctor looked a bit emotional. "She's perfect," Minho whispered, holding his daughter for the first time. "Absolutely perfect, look at her. Ada, we made this beautiful perfect person." Their daughter had Ada's skin tone, Minho's eyes, a head full of dark hair. She was beautiful, healthy, absolutely perfect. They named her Hana, meaning one, first, because she was the first of their forever, the beginning of their family. Minho was a natural father, surprising everyone including himself. He changed diapers, did night feedings, sang Korean lullabies in the middle of the night, was wrapped completely around his daughter's tiny finger from day one. "I never knew I could love someone this much," he said one evening, watching Hana sleep in her crib. "I love you more than life, but this is different. She's part of both of us, the best parts." "We did good," Ada agreed, leaning against him. "We did perfect." A year after Hana's birth, Minho threw a massive party, celebrating her first birthday, celebrating their family, celebrating the life they'd built from impossible circumstances. The guest list was staggering. Family, friends, business associates from both legal and formerly illegal enterprises. Even Ada's family flew in from America, her parents meeting their granddaughter for the first time. "You've built something beautiful," Ada's mother said, looking around at the party, at the massive estate, at Minho holding Hana with absolute adoration. "I was worried when you told me you were involved with him, but seeing this, seeing how he loves you, how he provides for you, I'm just grateful. He's a good man, despite everything. He's good to me, to Hana, that's all that matters." "That's everything that matters." The party lasted all day. Hana was delighted by all the attention, all the presents, all the people celebrating her. She laughed and played, and when she got tired, rested against her father's chest, safe, loved, absolutely secure. That evening, after everyone had left, after Hana was asleep, Minho and Ada stood on their terrace, looking out at Seoul, the city that had brought them together, that had tested them, that had ultimately given them everything. "Do you regret it?" Minho asked. "Saving me that night, everything that came after?" "Never, not for a second." Ada turned in his arms. "You're the best thing that ever happened to me. You and Hana, this life, I wouldn't change any of it. Even the danger, the kidnapping, the violence. Even that, because it proved we're strong enough to survive anything, together." He kissed her, soft and deep and full of promise. "I love you more every day. I didn't think that was possible, but it is. Every morning I wake up and love you more than yesterday. I love you too, my dangerous man, my protector, my husband, my love." They stood like that for a long time, holding each other, watching the city, grateful for every impossible moment that led them here, to this life, this love, this family. Inside, Hana slept peacefully, dreaming whatever Bobby's dream, safe in the knowledge that she was loved beyond measure, protected by a father who would burn the world down to keep her safe, nurtured by a mother who'd proven she could survive anything. The future stretched ahead, full of possibility, full of challenges, full of love that had been forged in fire and emerged stronger for it. Minho and Ada had started with nothing except a freezing night and a choice to help a stranger. They'd built everything else. A love that conquered danger, a family that defied the odds, a life that proved sometimes the most impossible things were the most worth fighting for. And as they stood together under the Seoul stars, they knew with absolute certainty that whatever came next, they would face it the same way they'd faced everything else. Together, forever, unbreakable.